Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Kudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone that rule well. Salutations to the hopeful elect, pushing this word of sincerity and truth on the four corners of the earth. All right, I'm going to start in Matthew 24:7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All right. Now, the point that I wanted to grab out of this is nation rising against nation. All right, meaning nationality. Nationality shall rise against nationality. All right. Now, I'm gonna get into this article that I seen on RT News. All right. Americans respond to riots, crime fears by buying more guns, as Smith and Wesson reports unparalleled demand. All right. Now you see Americans are buying more firearms, man. All right, because everybody feels the climate of this place right now. It's nation against nation. All right, chiefly, Israelites versus Edomites. All right, starting with, Judah. All right, you so-called Negroes. All right, you see so-called Negroes in the street protesting, rioting, looting, burning shit down. Trying to knock off cops in some situation. In some situations, rather, you're starting to see, this, nation rising against nation starting to manifest. All right. But it says Smith and Wesson is providing to be a chief beneficiary of the violence and unrest plaguing the country's big cities, as the largest U.S. handgun maker posted record quarterly sales amid surging demand for firearms. Gun sales in the company's first fiscal quarter, ending July 31st, jumped 141% from a year earlier to a record $230 million, Smith & Wesson said late Thursday. The firm also set an all-time quarterly high for guns shipped out, more than doubling the 584,000 units, as production was ramped up and inventories were drained. The current increase in consumer demand for firearms is in many ways unparalleled, Chief Executive Mark Smith told investors on a conference call. The company also noted that its customer base is widening, citing a National Shooting Sports Foundation estimate that 40 to 60% of the consumers buying firearms this year are first-time gun owners, led by increasing numbers of women and blacks. All right. So you see Jake is starting to arm himself. Now we know that not going to beat Esau with weaponry. The only way for the Israelites, you Negro, Latino, Native, Seminole, Indian, to beat any adversary is to rely on Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai. All right. But going back to that Matthew 24:7, nation shall rise against nation. You see the war is on the horizon, man. People are buying more guns because everybody feels unsafe. All right. Jake feels unsafe because, when I say Jake, you Israelites, you Negro, Latino, Native, Seminole, Indian. All right. Jake feels unsafe because simply he's in America. He or she, we're in America. All right. And you see Edomites. All right. You people that deem yourself so-called white people, they feel unsafe because they see the uprisings of the Israelites, man. All right. So more guns are being bought. All right, just like America builds missiles and other countries build missiles, they don't just build these missiles not to use them. They build them when war is on the horizon. And, on a lower level, you see Edomites and Israelites buying more guns because they know what? War is on the horizon. All right. Smith & Wesson is a benchmark for the gun industry, not only as a sales volume leader, but also as an iconic and historic brand popularized by the likes of Dirty Harry, the Clint Eastwood movie character who carry a Model 2944 Magnum. The company also has been a lightning rod for controversy in the political battle over gun control laws, and it was sued in June for marketing an assault rifle used in 2000 2019 shooting at a California synagogue. The arms manufacturer overall, the arms manufacturers overall May to July sales surged 125% year on year to 278 million, exceeding analyst projections by upward of 80 million. Smith said some portion of the sales increase was attributable to election year politics, as consumers typically buy more firearms when there are expectations of new gun control laws. But he said demand gains are driven largely by people fearing for their personal safety, because America is a war zone at this point, man. All right, when you see Jake out in the street rioting, uprising, you know, America is a war zone at this point, man. So when it says people fearing for their personal safety, that's everybody. Israelites, even though they're doing the wrong thing by buying guns, Edomites, everybody's fearing for their safety. All right, it says as evidenced by about 5 million first-time gun owners making purchases industry-wide since March. The FBI has run 25.9 million background checks for gun purchases this year, putting volumes on pace to surpass the record full-year high of 28.4 million set in 2019. By about the middle of this month, background checks jumped 67% from a year earlier to an all-time high of 3.93 million in June. 3.93 million in June, at the height of the Black Lives Matter and Antifa rights. Antifa rights. All right, now you see, Jake is rousing up, so these Edomites are feeling as though they have to protect themselves with this weaponry, man. Cause they scared of Jake. And you seeing it. You got police chiefs stepping down. You got, the citizens, which is mostly Jake, taking over police stations, burning them down, doing all this shit. Jake is roused up. Not to the full extent at this moment, but Jake has been roused up by Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and you see these Edomites just running scared. All right, you got Jakes who believe in the way of America, who are buying guns, and you got Edomites, which that's their blessing, buying more guns. This war is about to start. Going back to that Matthew 24:7. All right, it says we're into one of those surges where the industry's ability to supply is outstripped by the demand. So what they're saying is there's so much guns in demand they can't even supply them, because everybody is ready for war in this place, man. All right. Matthew 24:7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All right. Nation rising against nation mean, nationality rising against nationality. All right. And this is the prelude, if you will, precursor or whatever, to the race wars, man. It's going to happen. Real blood is going to be shed. It ain't just going to be a couple cops getting knocked out, a couple niggas getting shot by cops, a couple Edomites getting, mangled in a riot. It's going to be all out, every nation for themselves. All right, you're starting to see that. But I ain't going to hold you. Hope that video was edifying. With that, I'm going to say shalom.